The aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the earthy scent of rain, soaked streets as I sat tucked away in a cozy corner of the coffee shop. My book lay open on the table, its words blending into the soft buzz of chatter around me. Raindrops danced on the window pane, a soothing symphony that cocooned me in a world of my own. Just as I turned a page, the jingling of the bell above the door announced a newcomer. I glanced up and there he was, standing in the doorway with a sheepish smile, his clothes clinging to his frame, drenched by the unrelenting downpour. I couldn't help but smile sympathetically at his predicament. He made his way over to the counter, and I watched as he shook his head like a wet dog, sending droplets flying in all directions. My amusement grew, and before I knew it, a chuckle escaped my lips. Startled, he turned his gaze toward me, and our eyes met in shared amusement. His smile widened, and I felt a warmth spread through me. Without hesitation, he approached my table. "Mind if I join you?" he asked, gesturing to the empty chair across from me. "Of course, go ahead," I replied, pushing aside my book to make space. "Rough day out there." "You could say that," he laughed, settling into the chair. "I'm Alex, by the way." "Nice to meet you, Alex." "I'm Jessica," I introduced myself. As we exchanged stories of our respective days, the conversation flowed effortlessly. We found ourselves immersed in tales of missed buses, soggy shoes, and the general chaos that the rain had brought to the city. The initial awkwardness dissolved, leaving behind an easy camaraderie that felt both comforting and exhilarating. Our laughter resonated in the small space, drawing curious glances from other patrons. I hadn't realized how much time had passed until a barista approached our table, asking if we wanted anything to eat or drink. With a sheepish grin, Alex admitted that he was so focused on our conversation that he hadn't even glanced at the menu. "2 Americanos, please," I ordered with a smile, and the barista nodded before disappearing behind the counter. As the rain continued its gentle rhythm outside, Alex and I delved into deeper conversations. We talked about our passions, our dreams, and even our favorite books. The connection I felt with him was unlike anything I'd experienced before, as if we were 2 puzzle pieces finally finding our match. Little did I know that this seemingly random encounter was the first step on a path that would lead me through the intricate maze of unrequited love. In that coffee shop, under the gray skies and the soft glow of warm lights, I had no inkling of the roller coaster of emotions that awaited me. Days turned into weeks, and my interactions with Alex became a cherished routine. We met at the coffee shop, took walks in the park, and even attended a few art exhibitions together. The bond we shared grew stronger, and I found myself looking forward to each moment spent in his company. As we spent more time together, I couldn't help but notice the little things that made Alex special. His eyes sparkled with enthusiasm whenever he talked about his favorite books or his travels. His laughter was infectious, filling the air with an inexplicable joy. And the way he listened to me, truly listened, made me feel valued in a way I had never experienced before. But amidst all these wonderful qualities, an unexpected emotion began to take root within me: affection. I found myself thinking about Alex even when we were apart. His smile lingered in my mind, his laughter echoed in my mind, his laughter echoed in my ears, and his presence felt like a warm embrace that refused to fade. I was falling, slowly but surely, for a man who'd entered my life as a mere stranger. At first, I brushed aside these feelings as mere infatuation. After all, we had become great friends, and it was only natural to feel a certain closeness. Yet, the more time we spent together, the more my heart began to flutter in his presence. It was as if the seed of affection I'd unknowingly planted was growing into something I couldn't easily control. I remember one evening as we sat by the riverbank, watching the sun dip below the horizon, that I stole glances at him when he wasn't looking. My heart skipped a beat as he brushed a strand of hair behind his ear, his profile illuminated by the warm hues of the setting sun. I felt a rush of emotions that I struggled to put into words. But with these emotions came a sense of unease. What if my feelings changed the dynamic between us? What if he didn't share the same sentiments? I cherished our friendship above all else and feared jeopardizing it with my newfound emotions. So, I tucked away my feelings deep within the recesses of my heart and vowed to preserve our friendship at all costs. In the quiet moments when I was alone with my thoughts, I allowed myself to explore the idea of us being more than friends. I imagined what it would be like to hold his hand, to share secrets that went beyond the surface, and to look into his eyes and let him see the affection I'd been nurturing in secret. But each time, I reined in my imagination, reminding myself that our friendship was too precious to risk. As the seed of affection continued to grow, I found myself navigating the delicate balance between treasuring our friendship and suppressing my blossoming feelings. Little did I know that life had its own plans, and the journey through unrequited love was just beginning to unfold. As weeks turned into months, my affection for Alex remained a well-guarded secret. Our friendship continued to flourish, and we spent countless hours together, sharing stories, laughter, and even the occasional silence. But amidst the laughter and companionship, I began to notice subtle signs that stirred hope within me. One evening, during a crowded gathering, I caught Alex gazing at me from across the room. His gaze lingered for a moment longer than was strictly necessary, his eyes filled with something I couldn't quite decipher. It was as if he wanted to say something he couldn't put into words. My heart raced, hope fluttering within me like a fragile butterfly. Late-night texts became a regular occurrence, messages that extended beyond the usual banter of friends. He would share snippets of his day, moments that were seemingly insignificant but felt strangely intimate. I found myself dissecting these messages, searching for hidden meanings that might hint at his feelings. Was he testing the waters? Or was I reading too much into things? During our conversations, his questions delved deeper into my thoughts and feelings. He wanted to know about my dreams, my fears, and my aspirations. It was as if he was peeling away the layers of my personality, seeking to understand me on a level that extended beyond friendship. My heart swelled with anticipation, wondering if these were signs of a growing affection. There were moments, too, when his touch lingered just a bit longer than usual. A hand on my shoulder, a brush of his fingers against mine, innocent gestures that sparked a fire of longing within me. I yearned to believe that these touches held a hidden significance, that they were the bridge between friendship and something more. Yet doubt was a persistent companion. Could I truly trust my perceptions, or was I allowing my own feelings to distort reality? I was treading on fragile ground, teetering between hope and fear, and the stakes were high. I couldn't afford to misinterpret his actions and jeopardize the beautiful friendship we had cultivated. As time went on, I found myself seeking advice from friends, analyzing every detail with them in search of clarity. They offered differing opinions, some encouraging me to express my feelings, others cautioning against potentially damaging our friendship. The confusion swirled within me, a storm of emotions that left me both exhilarated and anxious. The signs remained, tantalizing and elusive, teasing the possibility of something more than friendship. And so, I continued to walk the tightrope between my own emotions and the uncertainty of his intentions. The unspoken tension between us was palpable, a magnetic force that pulled us together and yet kept us at a cautious distance. I was trapped in a liminal space, yearning for a resolution that would provide clarity to the storm brewing within me. Just as I was beginning to decipher the enigmatic signs from Alex, fate introduced a new player into our lives. Her name was Clara, and she entered the scene like a burst of sunlight, bringing with her an energy that was both captivating and infectious. Clara was Alex's childhood friend, and their bond was evident from the moment they reunited. She had a way of lighting up a room, her laughter ringing out like a melody that everyone couldn't help but join. Her vivacity was a stark contrast to my own quiet introspection, and I found myself both drawn to and slightly intimidated by her presence. As Clara and I got to know each other, an unexpected camaraderie began to develop between us. We shared stories of our lives, our interests, and even our mutual love for art. Despite my initial reservations, I found myself growing fond of her genuine warmth and her ability to bring a smile to anyone's face. But with Clara's arrival, my world took an unexpected turn. It became increasingly evident that the dynamic between Alex and Clara was shifting. Their interactions were laced with an intimacy that went beyond mere friendship, and it didn't take long for me to realize that they were falling in love. The realization hit me like a tidal wave, crashing over the fragile hope I had been nursing. I watched as their bond deepened, their shared laughter and stolen glances, leaving me feeling like a mere spectator to a love story I wasn't a part of. The seed of affection I'd nurtured for Alex now felt like a painful thorn, digging deeper with each passing day. I tried my best to be happy for them, to be the supportive friend I had always been. I masked my own heartache behind a mask of smiles, attending their outings and even celebrating their milestones together. I listened to Clara talk about Alex with a fondness that mirrored my own, all the while concealing the ache that was slowly consuming me. Each time they held hands or exchanged a knowing look, a pang of jealousy shot through me. I yearned to be the one who could make Alex laugh that way, to hold his hand without the weight of unrequited emotions tugging at my heart. But life had chosen a different path for me, one that left me on the sidelines as a silent observer of their love story. As I witnessed their romance blossom, I couldn't help but wonder if Alex had ever seen me as more than a friend. Had the signs I thought were meaningful been nothing more than my own wishful thinking? The pain of unrequited love was a bitter pill to swallow, and with each passing day, it became increasingly clear that my feelings for Alex were destined to remain unspoken, buried beneath the weight of his burgeoning relationship with Clara. With Clara firmly entrenched in Alex's heart, my role as the supportive friend took on new significance. I became their confidant, the one they turned to for advice and comfort. I embraced this role, burying my own heartache beneath layers of smiles and encouragement. My feelings for Alex remained a closely guarded secret, hidden behind the facade of a steadfast friend. Every hug I shared with them, every heartfelt toast I made to their happiness, carried with it a bittersweet undertone. I celebrated their love story, even as it tore at the edges of my own heart. My words of encouragement were genuine, my joy for their happiness real, yet each cheerful interaction chipped away at the walls I had built around my emotions. Clara and I continued to forge our own friendship, a connection that was sincere despite my internal struggles. I found solace in her companionship, cherishing the moments we spent together, even as her presence underscored the unspoken pain within me. She was the living reminder of a love that was out of reach, a love that had blossomed right under my nose. There were nights when I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, grappling with the unfairness of it all. I wished I could simply turn off my emotions, erase the affection I felt for Alex, but it was a battle I couldn't win. Instead, I poured my feelings into my journal, the pages becoming a sanctuary for the emotions I couldn't express openly. As their relationship grew stronger, I sought refuge in my own pursuits. I threw myself into my work, my hobbies, and the company of other friends. I hoped that by surrounding myself with distractions, I could numb the ache that had settled within me. But no matter how busy I kept myself, there were quiet moments when my mind would drift back to Alex and my heart would ache anew. There were times when I wanted to distance myself, to create some emotional space between us. But the fear of losing his friendship, of shattering the delicate balance we had established, kept me anchored. I couldn't bear the thought of him discovering my feelings and feeling burdened by them, so I carried on, bearing the weight of unrequited affection in silence. I confided in a few close friends about my situation, their empathy providing a temporary respite from my inner turmoil. They offered kind words, a listening ear, and a safe space to pour out my heart. And while their support helped me navigate the storm, the reality of my situation remained unchanged. Amidst the laughter, the shared moments, and the comforting embraces, I came to accept that my feelings for Alex were both a source of agony and a testament to the depth of my capacity to love. I continued to smile, to offer my unwavering support, and to hope that someday the pain would subside, leaving behind only the cherished memories of a friendship that had weathered the storm of unrequited emotions. Amidst the sea of unrequited love and concealed emotions, a glimmer of hope emerged during a seemingly ordinary evening. We had all gathered for a casual dinner at a cozy restaurant, the air buzzing with shared laughter and camaraderie. As the night wore on, I found myself engaged in a conversation with Alex that felt different, charged with an unspoken tension. Amidst the clinking of glasses and the chatter of our friends, Alex leaned in close, his warm breath tickling my ear as he whispered, "There's something I've been wanting to tell you." My heart raced, hope blossoming like a fragile flower within me. Could this be it? Could he finally be opening up about his feelings? My mind raced, anticipation mingling with the fear of getting my hopes up too high. I turned to face him, meeting his gaze with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. He paused, his eyes searching mine, his expression one of sincerity and vulnerability. My heart felt like it was about to burst as I held my breath, waiting for his words to shatter or fulfill my long-held hopes. But what he said next was unexpected. "I just wanted to thank you," he continued, a warm smile tugging at the corners of his lips. "You've been such an amazing friend. You've been such an amazing friend. You've been there for me through thick and thin, and I can't express how much your support means to me." My heart sank as the weight of his gratitude settled in. His words were filled with sincerity, but they weren't the confession I'd been yearning for. In that moment, my hope collided with the harsh reality of my unrequited affection. The ache was tangible, a reminder that my feelings remained hidden, locked away behind the walls of our friendship. I managed to smile and nod, my own gratitude genuine but layered with a bittersweet undercurrent. As the night continued, I found myself lost in a swirl of conflicting emotions. His words had only deepened the complexity of our relationship, highlighting the unspoken tension that had always simmered beneath the surface. As I watched him engage with our friends, his laughter ringing out, I was struck by the realization that our connection would forever be tinged with the unspoken words that hung between us. It was as if we were dancing on the precipice of something more, our footsteps carefully chosen to avoid disrupting the delicate equilibrium of our friendship. That night, as I lay in bed, I replayed his words in my mind. While they hadn't been the words I hoped for, they were a reminder of the impact our friendship had on his life. And while my heart still ached with unrequited love, there was a quiet comfort in knowing that I had made a difference, even if it wasn't in the way I had initially envisioned. As the days turned into weeks, I continued to navigate the complexities of my emotions, finding solace in our friendship, even as I grappled with the unspoken tension that had become an intrinsic part of our bond. The glimpse of hope had given me a new perspective, reminding me that while my feelings might not be reciprocated, the role I played in Alex's life was meaningful in its own right. Time flowed onward, and the unspoken tension between Alex and me remained a constant presence. Our friendship continued to flourish, filled with laughter, shared experiences, and moments of quiet understanding. Yet the words that lingered between us, words that could potentially change everything, remained unspoken, like a delicate thread ready to snap at any moment. One evening, as we found ourselves strolling through a park illuminated by the soft glow of streetlights, the weight of our unspoken feelings hung heavy in the air. The familiar hush that had settled between us was both comforting and suffocating. I longed to break the silence, to bridge the gap that had formed between our hearts, but fear held me back. As we sat on a bench overlooking a tranquil pond, Alex turned to me, his gaze thoughtful. "You know," he began, his words careful, "our friendship means more to me than I can express." My heart skipped a beat, my mind racing with possibilities. Could this finally be the moment? Could he be ready to reveal the feelings that had remained hidden for so long? My anticipation was palpable, the hope within me once again reaching for the surface. He continued, his voice tinged with emotion. "You've been a constant presence in my life, a pillar of support and understanding. I've never met anyone quite like you. Your name." Every word he spoke was a double-edged sword, cutting through my heart with both affirmation and ambiguity. It was as if he was dancing around the topic, tiptoeing on the fragile boundary between friendship and something more. My emotions were a whirlwind, a maelstrom of hope, fear, and longing. But just as the tension between us reached its peak, he pulled back. "I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for you, your name," he concluded, his smile both warm and distant. The words he spoke were a blend of gratitude and affection, but they fell short of the confession I had dared to hope for. My heart ached with the weight of the unspoken, the words that dangled just beyond my reach. It was as if we were two puzzle pieces, forever close, yet never quite fitting together perfectly. In the days that followed, I grappled with the implications of his words. Had he been on the verge of revealing his feelings, only to pull back at the last moment? Or had my own yearning distorted my interpretation of his words? The uncertainty gnawed at me, a constant reminder of a chasm that had grown between what was said and what was felt. As we continued our friendship, the unspoken words remained a persistent presence, an undercurrent that colored every interaction, every shared moment. I longed to break free from the confines of ambiguity, to either hear the words that had eluded me for so long, or to find a way to move forward with the knowledge that our feelings would forever remain unspoken. As the years went by, the pain of unrequited love slowly began to transform into a bittersweet ache. The unspoken tension between Alex and me had become a part of our shared history, a silent story that bound us together in ways only we could understand. Our friendship remained steadfast, a bond that had weathered the storms of emotions, time, and unspoken words. During this period, life led me down unexpected paths. I delved deeper into my passions and hobbies, finding solace and fulfillment in my own pursuits. I forged new connections and rekindled old ones, gradually realizing that while my feelings for Alex had been all-consuming, they weren't the entirety of my world. A new chapter began to unfold, one that was colored by a different kind of affection. I found companionship and understanding in the most unexpected of places: Alex's best friend, Sam. Sam was a constant presence in my life, a friend who had stood by me, oblivious to the unrequited love I had harbored for so long. Through shared experiences and countless conversations, a connection grew between us, one that felt surprisingly natural and unburdened by the weight of unspoken emotions. Sam offered a different kind of love, one that was open and reciprocated. We shared interests, dreams, and moments of vulnerability that allowed us to forge a bond that went beyond mere friendship. With time, my heart began to heal, not from the pain of unrequited love, but from the knowledge that love could manifest in unexpected ways. As Sam and I grew closer, the unspoken words between Alex and me took on a different significance. They became a reminder of a chapter of my life that had shaped me, a chapter that I had navigated with strength and grace. While the feelings I had once held for Alex hadn't faded entirely, they had transformed into a fondness for a time when our friendship was tinged with unspoken emotions. Despite the ache that remained, I found myself embracing the present and the future with renewed hope. Life was unfolding in ways I couldn't have predicted, guiding me toward a different kind of happiness. Sam became my confidant, my partner in crime, and eventually, the love that mended the fragments of my heart. As the unspoken tension between Alex and me continued to linger, it no longer held the power to consume me. Instead, it became a reminder of the depth of human emotion, the complexity of relationships, and the journey of self-discovery that I had embarked upon. The pain had paved the way for a new understanding of love, one that encompassed both the beauty and the heartache of the human experience. Life has a way of weaving intricate patterns, intertwining the threads of our experiences to create a tapestry that tells our unique story. As the years passed, the threads of my journey through unrequited love and the emergence of a different kind of affection with Sam came together in unexpected ways, leading to a new chapter of happiness and fulfillment. Sam and I continued to nurture our connection, allowing our bond to deepen and flourish. What had started as companionship grew into a profound and genuine love, one that was built on mutual respect, understanding, and a shared vision of the future. We faced challenges together, celebrated victories, and embarked on adventures that tested the strength of our relationship. In Sam, I found a partner who cherished my heart and understood the complexities of my past. Our love story was unburdened by the weight of unrequited emotions, and yet it carried the wisdom and depth that came from having experienced the full spectrum of love's complexities. The pain of my past had transformed into a wellspring of empathy, enriching our connection in ways I couldn't have foreseen. The unspoken tension between Alex and me had become a distant memory, a part of a chapter that had led me to where I stood today. Our friendship remained intact, a testament to the enduring power of connection, even when emotions were left unspoken. In time, We both found our own paths to happiness, he with Clara and me with Sam. As I stood before Sam on our wedding day, surrounded by friends and family, I felt a profound sense of gratitude for the journey that had led me here. My heart was full, not just with love for the person standing beside me, but also for the lessons learned, the friendships cherished, and the unrequited love that had shaped my capacity to love deeply and authentically. Life had shown me that happiness isn't always found where we expect it to be. It often emerges from the unexpected corners of our hearts, in the form of friendships that turn into love stories, and in the people who hold us up when we stumble. The pain of unrequited love had given way to a love that was genuine, profound, and reciprocated. A love that had healed the wounds of the past and brought me to a place of contentment and joy. And so, as I exchanged vows with Sam, I reflected on the journey that had brought me to this moment. The unrequited love I had once felt for Alex had led me to a different kind of love, one that was lasting, meaningful, and real. As we embarked on this new chapter of our lives, I knew that my story was a testament to the resilience of the heart, the beauty of unexpected connections, and the transformative power of love.